What is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh cool day today. Conversation I want to have today is based on some of the stuff that I've seen online. I had a cool video that I was watching earlier and I thought it was dope because of it's a subject that I've touched on before with my podcast. So I kind of wanted to touch bases on it with my online family because you guys are my peoples and stuff. So I'm going to touch bases with you guys a little bit more about it. I have to open up a few things so I can see what I'm doing. Bam, bingo, bongo. If you're first time here, welcome to the show. If you've been here before, how you doing? Welcome back. All right, so first things first. Let's look at the this particular stream. I'm gonna pull up my computer screen in 1 second. Bam. I like this joint here, so I'm gonna unmute the computer and let you guys hear what the heck's going on. First time here, welcome to the show.
17 years old. He said, if you really loved me the way that you said you loved me,
first things first,
you would have taught me how to survive in the situations that you were afraid of killing me, instead of protecting me and not teaching me how to protect myself. And that is what happens when mothers think that they can raise men. We don't teach them how to protect themselves the way that a man teaches a man how to protect himself. What we do is we coddle them, and we become this wall of security that come crashing down when they get to smelling theyself and they in their 18s and 19s, and now he can't live in your house no more, and you send him out into the world unprotected, and that's why he resents you.
Facts. Because it indirectly disrupts their understanding.
Yes.
You love them so much.
The birth of a villain story. Like,
Yes.
that's the birth of a villain story. You know how a lot of villains have complex relationships with mommy?
Yes.
And it's like, because I love to hate her, I know that she only did it because she loved me.
Yes.
But if she really loved me, you would have taught me how to protect myself. And my son told me this when he was 17 years old. He said, if you really loved me the way that you said you loved me, you would have taught me how to survive in the situations that you were afraid of killing me, instead of
freaking love that post. I mean, that little bit of video, man. I love it. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Like, I like the content because I like the idea that fathers are necessary. I don't mean any way, shape, or form that they are better than mothers. What I mean is that fathers in general are necessary. And I think that we skip over the part that is irreplaceable from having a father in your life. The thing that this woman's talking about is, I wouldn't say essentially failing her son, but she loved her son into a point where he was coddled into she clipped his wings, you know what I mean? He couldn't be free, he couldn't fly from the nest because she clipped his wings by loving him so much. He never had the opportunity to build the muscles to stand on his own. I love the phrasing of it. If you love me, you put me in the situations where that she was trying to protect him from. She should have helped him learn how to survive those such scenarios versus keeping him away from them, because keeping him away from them made him vulnerable to them when he was left without her. You know what I mean? I'm guilty of that to a certain extent. I'm very big on, I wouldn't say coddling, but I love my daughter in a way where I'm available at all times. And I think that that availability can be, crippling in its own way. But I don't regret it. I think that having not had access to my father most of my life, the natural response to that is to be more present. I know that there are times where I could take a step back, but I don't even try to estimate or guess that. I actually do the work to say, hey, honey, do you need more space? I'm not even joking. Like, I literally sit down with my daughter and I have conversations with her. Are you getting enough love? Are you getting enough attention? Now, I've been doing this conversation with her since she was 6 years old. Hey, do you need anything? Are you getting everything you need from me as a father? What? Do you get everything you need from daddy? Do you need anything more? Do you need me to talk to you more? Do you need me to talk to you less? Do you need me to hug you more? Do you need me to hug you less? Do you need more attention? Do you need less attention? What do you need from daddy? Everything's fine. Okay. And I temperature check with her like that regularly. not because I'm insecure or unsure of my parenting skills, but I do that regularly because I want to have the language around, do you need me? That my parenting isn't absolutely right nor absolutely wrong, but it is a work in progress because she changes every week, and I'm willing to change with her every day. You know what I mean? So we have conversations to set language to have healthier communication going forward. I don't think that I've been too much there, but I also know that I could probably be there less because I am super into my kid. Like I want my kid to be the best version of herself at all times. So I don't regret being super dad to my daughter at all. And I wouldn't take a step back from it if you paid me. But I do think that it's important to have conversations like that. And I do think that what this woman's experience is a real thing. If you're just tuning in, I'll play the video clip for you again. It's something I've been watching for a little while. I really like it. I have to mute my mic because I have the headset on. So I'm gonna mute my mic and I'm gonna play it one more time because I see the numbers went up and the viewership went up a little bit. So I want you to see what's going on. Peep this out. What up, Scrapes Diddy?
He said, if you really loved me, and my son told me this when he was 17 years old. He said, if you really loved me the way that you said you loved me, you would have taught me how to survive in the situations that you were afraid of killing me, instead of protecting me and not teaching me how to protect myself. And that is what happens when mothers think that they can raise men. We don't teach them how to protect themselves the way that a man teaches a man how to protect himself. What we do is we coddle them, and we become this wall of security that comes crashing down when they get to smelling themselves and they in their 18s and 19s, and now he can't live in your house no more, and you send him out into the world unprotected, and that's why he resents you.
Facts. Because it indirectly disrupts their understanding.
Yes.
You love them so much.
The birth of a villain story. Like,
Yes.
that's the birth of a villain story. You know how a lot of villains have complex relationships with mommy?
Yes.
And it's like, because I love to hate her, I know that she only did it because she loved me.
Yes.
But if she really loved me, you would have taught me how to protect myself. And my son told me this when he was 17 years old. He said, if you really loved me the way that you said you loved me, you would have taught me how to survive in the...
Fam, tell me that's not something crazy, right? Tell me that's not crazy. Tell me that's not crazy. Yo, something I was just telling people, I was just saying that, like, I watched that little clip. I've seen it before and I wanted to make a short about it because I want to know how people feel about it. But then I was like, why not just go straight to the pod and talk to the pod? You know what I'm saying? So for the pod, do you guys agree or disagree? I back that 100%. Well, that answers that. I was saying that fathers are irreplaceable, and I don't mean that in the sense that females or mothers don't have the don't have value or have lesser value. I think that, bro, I kind of had this conversation with my dad before. That's kind of crazy, Scrapes. That's crazy. How did the conversation go? I was saying that earlier. I was saying that with Amaya, my daughter's name is Amaya. With Amaya, I have, since she was 6, I've always asked her to set language, right? Because with kids, especially young kids, giving them the language so that they know how to say and speak and articulate certain things, because they don't know. So giving them language around things. What I mean is that I do not expect to be the perfect dad, because I grew up not having my father and mother in close proximity. I tend to be very much a helicopter parent because I remember what it felt like not having for the entirety of me growing up. And I don't resent it or anything like that, but I know because of that, I'm going to want to be more present and more available to my daughter. And that could be I can overcompensate for me not having it, right? So I'm taking my own mental evaluation about whether I'm not being there too much, or I'm coddling too much, or am I protecting her too much. But also, like, my parenting style is that life is going to hit you and that you have to get up from life. And I'll be there to help you mend your wound, but life is going to punch. It's just the way it's the ups and downs. It's going to ebb. It's going to go up and down, and you're going to have really highs and really lows. And as long as I'm here, I will help you get back up. And while you're up there, I will clap the entire time you're up top, right? But I have conversations with her about, are you getting everything that you need from me as a father? Like, I literally asked my daughter maybe twice a year. Are you getting everything you need from daddy? Do you have everything you need? Are you getting all the attention you need, all the hugs you need? Do you need me to hug you less? Do you want to be around me more? Do you want to be around less? Am I spending enough time with you? Am I talking to you enough? Like, I have these conversations with her so that there's no break in communication when she does need to say, Dad, I need my space, or she's saying, Daddy, I need you home. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has the tools and the language to have those conversations with me that can be tough for kids to have. My daughter and me speak freely a lot about a lot of different topics because we have language around those topics. And at one point they were uncomfortable for her, but because I was consistent in the fact that I'm always setting the tone of, you can tell me anything. You have a father you can talk to about anything. I reassure her of that. I emulate that. Even when she's, about honesty, I'm very big on honesty with relationships, regardless of just my kid, but in general, I value honesty. So I tell her how important it is to me as a person, and I let her know when things bother me in general. Like, sometimes I'm bothered by something that has nothing to do with her doing something wrong. It's just a thing for me, and it's a me thing. And I apologize, and I tell her, can we please take a break while I go through this me thing? Because sometimes I'm not at 100% for it to deal with a topic, And I'm only putting all that out here to say that language is so important that I'm hoping that because I'm able to talk to my kid about everything, if she does feel like there is not a devalued or I missed anything, but if she ever does need something more or less from me that I don't see, she's able to communicate that to me, because I would hate to be too present to the point where I cripple my child or clip her wings from being able to be the type of person she wants to be. Because this is sad, bro. Like, the mom said that she basically missed the entire opportunity for her kid to be a full kid because she mothered her son into the point where he was incapable of being a man on his own. That's crazy. But I think it's a very prevalent thing. Fathers are absolutely necessary. I read this psychology piece where they said that mothers help the child deal with things like sadness and emotions like sadness and grief and just turbulent things. There's these set of negative emotions that need support emotionally that children connect with their mom on, and they literally become this foundation. They're this anchor for their children, right? And that the father, because the child and the mother build their bond from the conception, right? The moment she's in the stomach, they've built a relationship. They're building them, they're close. The father has to then lure the child, in a healthy way, lure the child from the mother in order to spend time with the child and take risk with the child, right? Because the father typically teaches the child how to deal with taking risk, but also how to deal with extreme excitement. They're just things that fathers, they're a little more strict. These are things that, what's up, Totem? Like, the father teaches the kid how to do these things. And I have to say that 100%, I really do help my daughter when she's too excited or she's jumping out and crazy. Hey, calm it down. We've all had the dad be like, hey, chill out over there. Or being too loud, you're jumping around too much. Not perfect. I'm not saying every dad that checks you is perfect. I'm saying that fathers are kind of responsible. We just innately kind of handle extreme excitement and bringing your kid over to this place where now they're taking risks. Because just coming alone with you away from mommy is a risk for a child who hasn't bonded. You have to bond with the kid after you've established some kind of trust with the kid. Even if you're the biological father, you still have to lure your kid away. And that process builds a side of the child that is able to go out and do these things that this woman is talking about that they missed. They missed these things because she never had a father lure this kid away to take risks. She never had somebody checking him about how to check his behavior, because testosterone and emotions is a hell of a drug. You have to learn how to manage that differently when you're a man. It's different for guys, and that's okay. I'm not saying it's better or worse. I'm saying it's different, and different is all right. A man understands that there's certain conversations I can have with Joe and Carlo and Scrapes that are so different from the conversations I can have with my female friends. And they're not going to understand it the same way as experiencing it as a man, the same way I'm not going to understand a woman's perspective on things the same way as another woman can experience it. And again, that's okay, but it's just, it goes back to my point of fatherhood and fathership is just irreplaceable. It is something that is absolutely necessary in a child's life. It's for me, it's the most important thing that I can give to my daughter is being her father. Because the way I want to be a dad should have a freaking award. I want to be the best dad in the world. So I'm out here like trying to beat the game every day. You feel me? There's not a time where I'm not putting my utmost. I think about this little girl so much that I made a podcast topic about my baby. You feel me? Like I love talking to my kid and trying to teach my kid how to get through it. Like that's how I prepare for the world is language, communication. Because I feel like for me, I was at a point in my life where identifying the emotion was helping me be with the emotion and not in the emotion, right? And I try to kick this to my friends and my homies because it was like eye-opening for me. You can't respond to situations from the emotion. So when I speak to my daughter, I try to give her this skill. How do you feel? Why do you feel that way? Those two questions are the first things I ask my daughter. How did that make you feel? Or why do you feel that way? And we take emotional inventory, right? And then when she takes emotional inventory, we now got control. We know what we feel and why we feel that way. So now we can deal with the trigger. We're not dealing with her being mad or her being sad. We're dealing with this thing makes me sad. Well, why do you think that thing makes you sad? I don't know. Maybe just because, I really like getting along with people. I'm like, oh, well, it's okay for everybody not to get along with you. We're not dealing with the friendship, the little like, oh, I want the toy, I want the kid, no, we're not dealing with these things. We're dealing with her as a person, right? We're strengthening her as a person because that's not the only time you're gonna have a disagreement with a friend. That's not the only time you're gonna do it. We just have to deal with it better. And I think that's for me is how I prepare my daughter for the world. It's by equipping her with language so that she can always cast that magic spell is what I always say. I think like words are like magic spells. They do such magical things for people and for things. Like what you say is so heavy. The words you choose are so important. Why I don't curse around my daughter. I don't even raise my voice with my kid, fam. Like I think words are that strong and that powerful that I watch my words. And I'm a cursing dude. I curse all the time. I raise my voice. I yell at people for a living. I don't yell at my daughter. I don't curse at my daughter, not because I think it's inherently bad, but because I want to be a source of comfort, peace, and support for her. And I don't want to be a reason that I'm heightening her senses, right? I don't want to be someone who triggers anxiety. I want her to come to me, and even in her worst possible moment, she comes to me and it's comforting. We were out one day and we went to go see a movie and they were talking in the movie theater. I told them to be careful. Nah, we're going to get better at it, Scrapes. We're going to get better at it, bro. And you do. You make all the effort in the world when you're around a mind. Don't act like that, man. You're a good dude. Straight up and down. You're a great guy, man. We were at a movie theater and her and her friends were talking. I'd asked them to keep it down because I'm not good with people talking to my baby. So I didn't want someone when they were sitting by themselves. I was like a row or two behind them, but I could see them. You know what I mean? And I didn't want someone to approach them because I'm not protective of my kid. And when you're with us, there's us and there's everybody else. So once you're with me and my daughter, that's it. You're part of the tribe. So I didn't want anyone to say a word to them while we were in this theater. So I said, make sure you're not disturbing anybody. Keep it down some. So they were still being loud and talking a little bit. Nothing crazy. They were very respectful kids. They were being loud and they look and go, shh, oh, your dad's going to get mad. And my daughter goes, my dad's not like that. They were like, what? My dad's not like that. He's not going to yell at us. My dad doesn't yell. And that made me so freaking happy, yo. Like it made me so happy that she was like confident. I'm talking about, oh no, that's not my dad. My dad doesn't do that. Now she gets in trouble, you know what I mean? But she was so confident in the sense of like, you don't need to be angst with my dad. My dad will talk to you. Like he doesn't get in an emotion and deal with me. My dad talks to me. You know what I'm saying? And she like reassured her friends like, chill. I don't know how y'all do things, but my dad's a talker, and I freaking love that. I love that even though I come from this turbulent background and I have all this stuff that like I have my own baggage and how I got to, and we'll do a different podcast when I tell you how boxing saved my life. But I'm at a different place where I'm so happy that my traumas and the things that I grew up around, I don't have to be something I'm not something my daughter has to recover from. And I think that's I'm proud of that I'm not being something my daughter has to recover from. And I never want to be that. So again, language is so important. There's another clip that I wanted to play. I don't want to get too wordy, but I did want to keep talking to you guys. It is precious. Thank you, Kiwi. I have a great relationship with my daughter. One day I'll bring her on the pod with me. I'll sit her down and you get to chat with me and my kid, and we'll tell you about, I don't know, about a topic I'll pick for me and Fats to talk about, because she's a special kid, man. Like, she is such a cool kid. I would compare your parenting style to my modern gentle parenting. Would you compare your parenting style to the modern gentle parenting? I don't think it's gentle parenting, right? Because I'll put the paps to my child. She's too old now, but as a younger kid, I don't disagree with physical punishments. I don't disagree with consequences, right? I'm not against consequences, and I don't like repeating myself as far as like, here, go to your room. But I feel like it's like there's no wall for my parenting, where I feel like gentle parenting makes this wall where it's like, you just need to understand your kid. I think that every kid is different, so I don't have a blanket for parenting. I think that being gentle with your kid is absolute, but I think that your kid, it depends on what resonates with your kid, right? I have the greatest daughter from who I am as a parent, because we like to understand. Like, we like to understand something. When I first started spending time with my daughter all the time, I would Google things. We would talk about something, and even if she learned something on TV, I'd Google it right in front of her. We talk about something, she'd ask me the definition of a word, and even if I knew it, I would Google it to make sure I gave her the precise definition and not some layman's term understanding. I Google constantly. So I was talking to her today, and I asked her something about something she ate with her grandmother. She wasn't sure what it was, and in the middle of the conversation, she goes, "Let me Google it right fast. Let me Google it right quick, because I'm not sure." She Googles it, and then we started talking afterwards. And after she Googled it, I was like, "Wait a minute. You Googling stuff on the phone?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Where you learn that from?" She's like, "My father." And I'm thinking to myself, like, she doesn't even know how great of a skill that is. When she was talking about her friends, she was like, with her friends, she Googled a bunch of things that they were talking about. And they're like, "You Google everything." She was like, "Yeah, my dad does that." Like, and it's not about the Googling, it's about not knowing something for a second and not being afraid to have a better understanding about something you may already know, or learning something that you were unfamiliar with. We have all this information at the end of our fingertips. You know what I mean? Like, don't be so prideful that you are afraid of not knowing. You know what I'm saying? And I like that. She just works with who I am as a person, because she's so much like her daddy. So I'm lucky. I can be gentle with my kid, because I know when I was younger, I didn't need all the punishments and all the paps that I received. Like, I don't think they parented for me. I didn't require the type of parenting they gave me. And with my daughter, I try to understand, and I give her choices, and I articulate, and I let her know where I'm at with things. It's like, listen, this is not something I want to have a conversation with you about again. This one's more serious than everything else. So please make this thing the last time we talk about this. Do I expect her to be perfect? Hell no. I expect her to make mistakes. But some mistakes I don't expect her to make at all. And some mistakes I expect her to make one time. You know what I mean? Because that's all it takes is one time. We're here. I'm not going here again. You know what I'm saying? But I also expect her to call me if she puts herself in a situation she's uncomfortable with. If she wants to escape something she doesn't want to be at. If she feels uncomfortable, she feels unsafe. I want to be someone that she's not so worried about the consequence that she forgets that her safety is paramount. You know what I'm saying? So it's not gentle, because if she got in trouble, I am not someone she wants the school to call or anybody to call. If she gets in trouble, she does not want me to be the one to give the consequences, because I don't play. Do I beat my kid? No. Would I? Hell the fuck yeah. But do I beat my kid? No. I don't beat my child. I don't think that she's too grown to she's almost a teenager, bro. You don't, at this point, you got to hurt the kid to give a kid a beat. And I'm not doing that. Like, she got to take her lumps. I'm going to protect her from the consequences for as long as I need to. She starts being too rambunctious, she can take the consequences of her actions on her own. But until then, punish your kids. Punish your kids as much as you need to, because the world isn't going to love them and punish them. So you say I gentle parenting. I feel like it's like almost like you pretend the entire world loves your kid like you love your kid. I think my kid's the best kid in the world. The world doesn't give a shit about that little brown girl. Not the way I do. No one cares about that little girl the way I do. The only person that's even close is her mother. And we don't even see eye to eye about the way we love our kids. So I would say I'm the only person that loves my daughter the way I do. Of course I'm going to give her consequences. I'm going to do everything I can to keep that child out of harm's way. I don't think that's gentle, because I'm aggressive. I am absolutely aggressive, and I'm here, I'm present, and I'm all the way in. I'm locked in, you know what I mean? So it's different. I would say it's nothing like the modern gentle parenting, but I think there's a lot to learn from not being something your kids have to recover from. I wanted to play another video. Let's get it popping. 1 second, I'm gonna mute my mic so I don't have the feedback.
I wouldn't let my son play with all black kids. Because I see black kids, man, you can't be loving. You can't be a loving kid amongst black kids. I would tell my homeboy, homie, why you gotta teach your son to fight? Homie, let the world teach him when it's time to fight. Why are you teaching him as a baby to fight? But that's the culture. Nigga, I'm teaching my son love. Come here, baby. But you'll say, oh, boy, you raising him to be gay. With love? So, man, I raised my boy with love. I wasn't, man, fuck all that teaching him to fight, punching on him. No, man, I gave him love. So, but I saw this won't protect him when he go outside and play with these nigga baby, these ghetto nigga baby. So, I started watching what he would gravitate to, what environments he would have. I wouldn't let my son play with all black kids. Because I see black kids, man, you can't be loving. You can't be a loving kid amongst black kids. I would tell my homeboy, homie, why you gotta teach your son to fight? Homie, let the world teach him when it's time to fight. Why are you teaching him as a baby to fight? But that's the culture. Nigga, I'm teaching my son love. Come here, baby. But you'll say, oh, boy, you raising him to be gay. With love? So, man, I raised my boy with love. I wasn't, man, fuck all that teaching him to fight, punching on him. No, man, I gave him love. So, but I saw this won't protect him when he go outside and play with these nigga baby, these ghetto nigga baby. So, I started watching what he would gravitate to, what environments he would have to fight in, what environments he get peace in. So this is my qualitative observation. And I wouldn't let my son play with all black kids.
Nah, that joint. What do y'all think of that? Huh? What's the thoughts on that one? What are we saying about that? Too much? Is he going too far? Is he doing too much? Sorry, I was looking at this flip thing. It kind of blew my mind. I'll show you guys that in a second. But I don't think. I mean, Charleston White be out of pocket a lot of the time. So I'm not going to say that he's 100% right with what he said because I think that's crazy. I think being around being around other brown kids is so important for other brown kids. Like you need to be around brown kids. I think that the right brown kids and I think that the right kids in general, I don't think it's a color thing. I think it has to do with environment that you allow your kid to be around because I know plenty of brown kids that are functional, respectful, and gravitate towards success. How my brothers are brown kids that I grew up with that gravitate towards success. My friend circle is a bunch of brown people that gravitate around success. I think that what resonates with your child is a reflection of their upbringing and what resonates with them. You get raising your child in love, but teach them that the world can be nasty too. You can get that with any color. Exactly. I think that avoiding black kids is crazy. I think just saying avoiding black kids is like it's like those black guys that say I don't date black women. It's like, Brody, if you can't handle the women you've dated, you can't handle the women you dated. Don't antagonize the entirety of black women because you dated a couple of chicks that didn't resonate with you. That's craziness. You know what I'm saying? That's wild man talk. Like every woman's not going to work for you, and that's okay. We're okay with that. Every relationship doesn't have to be your relationship. But the idea that you're going to be like every brown person, I hate that lesson. But that's how he prepares his kid for the world, is saying, I try to love my child, teaching your child to fight. That was something I liked, right? And I say I liked is in a conversation piece. We got to teach him how to fight because he has to survive. He can't be no punk. I grew up like that. I grew up where I was celebrated for my ability to put hands on other kids. I fought. I fought anybody. Didn't matter if you were 3, 4 grades ahead of me. I was with it. Didn't matter if it was 3, 4, 5 of y'all. I was with it. I'm still like that now, except now it's not about fighting because I'm a grown man. I don't want to die. So I'm not out here trying to fight a bunch of young people or old people because no one wants to get their ass kicked anymore. You got to keep your hands to yourself to survive. I say that to be like, in today's society, fighting is a thing of the past. It's a relic. Even these kids are shooting. Teaching somebody how to fight is one thing, but teaching somebody how to establish themselves is even more important, right? Because I feel like problem solving is something that a lot of young men specifically don't have. So raising them in love is cool, but raising him to have a cool head, to be calculated, to take inventory of who's around him and what the situation can lead to, right? Doing the social mathematics to know how to avoid, how to add this 1 plus this 1 equals this 2. And I don't want any of that. So I'm going to stay around these right here because these right here lead to the type of 3 or 4 or 5 that I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? If they can't do those social mathematics, then you aren't raising them appropriately. I am not proficient at doing that, right? Because some lumps your kid has to take on their own. If I avoid every scenario that my daughter could possibly fail in, I'm no different from that mother who ill-equipped her son for the world outside of her door. Even when my daughter is doing dumb shit in school or with her friend group or who she's entertaining, I have conversations with her. I let her know my take on it as softly as I can because it's her lump to take. I wouldn't want to steal her lesson away from her. I tell her, I let her know that even if you fall, I'll be there to pick you up. You know what I mean? Like, I'll help you get it together. I'm not going to let you fall ever in life. No, baby, falling is a part of life and you got to get good at it. You got to get so good at falling that you don't even realize you're falling because no one cares, right? A story I love to tell about success, and I tell myself too, so I'm gonna tell y'all to remind me. The guy that did Spotify, I believe, the Spotify guy, his story was he went on like, I don't even know. Homie was out here. He had a team together. They had all this seed money. They put together the Spotify thing and they were trying to get it, trying to get it sold. They were trying to get this big check, this big payday for this music platform that, Apple was killing it at the time. Apple Music iTunes was the big thing. So we kept putting it out and he went out to meetings for years. We're talking about 67 or 160 or 68 or 90 or whatever. Let's say it was 100 meetings this man went to and got told no. Every time he went to a meeting, he got told no. 110 meetings, 120 meetings, whatever the case, the number might be. This is years of him going to meetings, keep telling his people are working for free. He's like, yo, just stay with me. They stayed with him. I don't know how many people left, how many people stayed, but enough people locked in that he was continuing to go into meetings to try to get this thing sold and getting it, they're taking their feedback and people just don't believe in him. But he's like, I'm going to keep going. His team believes. They keep going. And finally on meeting number 167, they say, yo, this is dope. We like it. They buy Spotify. Millions of dollars. He pays the whole team off the deal, plus the money that was owed for the years they would help developing it, right? No one cares about how many meetings he went to. No one cares about how depressed he got. No one cares about the arguments he had with his family. No one cares about the friends he lost. No one cares about every time people told him to turn it in or turn it over or get rid of it. No one knows what that man went through. They just know it's successful now. It's like, yeah, I would love Spotify money. I say that to say that my daughter failing, I want it to be just like that Spotify guy, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you fail. It doesn't matter if they laugh at you. I'll laugh at you if it's funny, you know what I mean? But we're going to come home. You come home. You make it home to me every time and we'll leave this story. The next time you leave, you'll be better. Come back to me every time. Do not let that world beat you up to the point where you don't come back to me. You come back to me no matter what. And I'll get you right when you go back out that door because I might not have the answer, but I'll Google the shit out the answer. You hear me? Like, I got my daughter's back and that's my thing, right? Not that I don't want you to have your feelings hurt. You're going to have your feelings hurt. I tell her it hurts my heart to have your feelings hurt because I'm a fighter. but I love that my daughter's not like me. She don't want to fight everybody. So I keep it. I calm the hell down so my daughter can see, because she's the calm one. I'm not calm like that. So I know she's calm. I don't want to give her turbulence. I chill out. You know what I mean? But I want to get her, I guess, to prepare for the world is that I have to get her prepared and comfortable failing, right? So that's something I do all the time with my kid, is let her get prepared and let her get comfortable. I'm dead. Son, horrible, yo. What is this? What is this? What is this? Anyway, that's gonna be it for my podcast, my hour podcast today. It's already after 9. I'm gonna be on Twitch gaming for a while. So if you want to catch me, I'm gonna continue to stream. I'm gonna end the stream now. I'm gonna restart my stream. I'm gonna play some Smite, maybe some pub. I don't know, man. Winfred was telling me he's gonna play PUBG, so we'll see if we'll get the gang back together. But either way, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for rapping with me. I appreciate you, Kiwi, Scrapes, Joe, for you guys jumping in. Totem, I appreciate you jumping in for a second. I'm seeing you here in a minute, but I appreciate you, Brody. First time. Hey, Totem, hey, I appreciate you stopping in, fam. Hey, hold on. Appreciate you jumping in, fam. That's dope. Thanks for coming in. I'm gonna stream every night that I can. I'm gonna stream between 8 and 9, having these type of conversations about whatever might be on my mind at the time. I do love to talk, and then I'm gonna get back to doing my stream because I love gaming. It's just my pastime. It's one of my ways of relaxing, kicking my mind off things. I work hard. I work a lot, and this is something that I would like to make. I like to be home with my kids, so I really just, this is natural. Talking to people, vibing with people, podcasting with people. This is something I enjoy. So I would love to do this more frequently and more time. So I'm gonna I'm going to make this my thing. I'm going to be podcasting every day. You can catch me between 8 and 9, and I'll be streaming if you want to spend more time with me.